All right. Well, I meant to hit the intro after that, but I accidentally hit an overlay. So
I was wondering.
I was like,
All
why isn't the
right.
video starting? Oh shit! I hit an overlay. That's why.
Anyways, if you're wondering, it's bump. Something like
No.
that, right?
Yeah. Why not just fix it now and play it? I know where it is now. Funny enough. Welcome to our first ever DS9 commentary.
This is. I was just saying this is epic. Thank you for doing this. This is crazy. Like I've never thought I would do a watch along commentary of Deep Space Nine.
I've been wanting to go back and watch it for a while. And I'm like, I'm just waiting until it gets remastered. And I'm like, well, I don't want to wait 10 to 15 years.
It's true. It's gonna be
By
a
the time
long
it gets
time.
remastered, it'll literally be in holodeck form.
I think it's gonna be in the next 5 years. That's my prediction.
Massive undertaking, though.
Massive.
It's literally doing post production on an entire series. It would take at least 4 years, like it did with TNG.
Look, ever since I was doing this Drunk Space Nine shit that I was a part of, I've been saying that you could do it in piecemeal and just release that. Like it's kind of, obviously Paramount Plus, CBS, whatever doesn't need it anymore because they're gonna have like a year's worth of Star Trek content. But I was thinking like you could release it in between like shows or whatever. But who knows? There's still a lot of possibilities.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get started. I just there's a whole little introduction here that I want to read. If you don't mind, just
No, I don't
before
mind.
the episode itself starts. So we're gonna start now. You ready, Starfleet Boy?
Hold on, let me get the. All right, ready, Captain.
Alrighty. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
On Stardate 439997, Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Federation starship Enterprise was kidnapped for 6 days by an invading force known as the Borg.
Fucking
Surgically
Borg.
altered, he was forced to lead an assault on Wolf 359. Resistance is futile.
Oh, it's so good. When I first saw this, I was like, what is happening?
It's a great opener.
So good.
Tying the previous captain to this guy.
I know. It's geniusness.
So this is the Saratoga. Benjamin
Look at-
Sisko is the first officer. This takes place in 2367?
I have no idea. Look at this. Look at this. It's like... It's so good. Even in this like shitty non-HD quality, it still looks good.
Just imagine what it would look like in higher quality.
Look at
Now-
this Vulcan captain. What?
Yeah, but do you know who that is?
Who is that?
It's Martok.
Oh, no way. That's amazing. Yes, you're right. It is Martok. That's crazy. Boom. This was happening in the background, PJ, when we were watching Best of Both Worlds. Like, that's what's awesome
Yeah.
about it. It's, like, insane.
Looks like J.G. Hertzler is dead.
Yep.
But he'll be back.
He'll be
as
back.
Martok.
Cisco's great. I love seeing him on a ship
Yeah. You don't get to see that again for a while. Like,
for a while,
him
yeah.
on an actual moving ship.
That's a Bolian, I think, right?
Yeah.
He's in command now. Captain's
Yeah,
dead.
yeah.
This is him. Wow, it's crazy.
They've got to evacuate that darn ship.
You gotta.
I hope his wife is okay.
Oh my god, PJ.
She'll be fine. There's an unintentional. I don't know if it's funny, but I remember like I found it kind of amusing,
The
even though in the context of the situation, it's not It's not actually funny, but it's after this. I'll tell you when it happens.
That's true. The that was
That's the
cool how
only
the
time you see
bulkhead
That's the first time you see Jake played by
Cirroc Lofton.
anybody, and it's not.
Oh, it's not Cirroc
Lofton.
Lofton. You're right. Sorry, my bad. Oh,
I like how she comes back in some other forms, I guess.
Yeah, it's really
future
cool.
episodes. No, try not to get into talking about like what happens.
I forget the actor's name, but she's gorgeous.
She's beautiful.
It's true.
He's kind of losing his objectivity here.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Like that Bolian is kind of like saving his ass now.
Yeah.
Or saving Jake at least. This is the unintentional funny part coming up.
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's great.
I love it too. It is a little funny.
But I mean, Avery Brooks is just freaking awesome.
Now, even though this is depicting Wolf 359, this came out like what, season 6 of TNG, right? Like that's when this came out.
Yes. Yes.
It's crazy.
Basically, I think the Wolf
Look at that.
359 thing happened in 1990, and this is 1993, so
93, yeah.
It skips ahead 3 years later.
That launching from the docking bay was pretty awesome, like the escape pod launch. We had never seen something like that in Star Trek before. This just, as far as like TV special effects go, this was like unprecedented at the time. 3 years later. This is awesome. There you are, Jake.
He's not British.
No.
It's like, there you are, Jacob.
Could you imagine if like Idris Elba played Cisco instead, like when he was that age?
He's like, come on, Jake, let's go. Let's get off this hollow deck.
It's insane. If you know Cirroc Lofton on social media now, he's like a man, and like we're watching him grow up on this show. It's really weird.
He's a man. He's a man.
He's a man, and here's like a boy.
As opposed to a
man boy or a boy man.
For fuck's sake.
I like that it's a holodeck.
My headphones fell off.
Oh no.
Hold on.
But are you back? Can you hear me? Let me know when you can hear me. Anyways, I like the holodeck that they had there. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba, ba. So beautiful.
That's early use of, well, for TV, it's like the use of motion control cameras.
Right on.
Almost hit skip intro for a second.
No, don't do it.
No.
I was when you were off your headphone when your headphones fell out. I was gonna say the holodeck was cool. It had like the normal grid pattern, but like little green like rectangles interspersed between it. It was a really cool pattern.
Yeah, it's just like a slight variation.
Yeah. This is so beautiful. What's your favorite opening credits from the TV shows?
This one.
Really? Oh, mine is Voyager. Mine is Voyager. Even though I love TNG.
The theme.
Yeah, the theme's really pretty. But Voyager has the best credits in my mind.
Dun, 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 dun.
Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba, ba. Bum, bum. Ba, ba, ba. This is when Alexander Siddig was Siddig El Fadil. I think that's his like real name or something. Look at you.
I need a chorus of my voice.
This is hilarious. This is worth it just to hear you singing this. Da, 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 da.
Whatever hope for viewership has gone out the window.
How many people are watching this stream?
I don't even know. I'm not even looking. One,
Yeah.
it's blue.
Da-da. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go full screen, Blue. I'm sorry, I know you're there, but I gotta watch this full screen.
Oh, it's the Enterprise.
It's so beautiful. It looks pretty, by the way, on the fucking pylon there.
It kind of it didn't confuse me so much, but it was like it was jarring to see Cisco meet with Picard and them not get along, even though it's perfectly understandable why.
Yeah.
But I was just like, oh, I wanted them to be like bury the hatchet kind of thing, and I guess realistically, I mean, it wouldn't be that easy, right?
Right. I just want to say this is I think this is the first technical spin-off of Star Trek, because this is technically a spin-off of TNG. If I can get that right.
It's like if Phase 2 ever came to be, that would technically be the first spin-off of TOS, but you know. And you could say that TNG is a spin-off of TOS, but it's more just like a sequel series.
Yeah. That's what I would say too. First look at Quark.
Armin Shimmerman's makeup in the first, I don't know how many episodes, is different.
Same with
the first season.
Rene Auberjonois. Same thing with Odo.
Yeah. It's not as thick.
You know,
like you can actually his face comes through more in the earlier.
Yeah, it's true. I would like to play I would like to be a Bajoran, like what is he, a Vedek or just a priest, I guess.
Well, he's a creepy old man.
Kind of creepy.
No, well, to be honest, when I was a kid, I mean, I wasn't crazy about this show. I did end up loving it as it went on, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like I didn't quite understand spiritualism and the religion aspect of it being in Trek. Because considering, like, you know, I went to Catholic school and stuff for so long, I was very, like, kind of anti-religion when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was actually told by my principal when I was really young that I was bad and going to go to hell because I questioned the existence of God.
Oh, weird.
And they're like, you can't do that. You can't think for yourself.
I also grew up Catholic, but I didn't have to go to Catholic school, and I didn't have to do my, you know, all the Catholic things. So I was lucky. My parents kind of like gave us like a choice in the matter. But I will say that, like, I had trouble with this series for a number of reasons, but the main reason was that, like, it was just like, I was like, why are we locked down on a space station? Like, I don't understand why Star Trek is going in this direction. I was expecting like another, you know, spacefaring series.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool that O'Brien was there. I was like,
yeah, it was wild that a character from one show hopped into the other, and then of course we get Worf later, right?
That's what got me watching the show regularly again, because like at first, like I watched this in '93 when it aired, like, and I watched I think most of season 1, like,
yeah,
as it aired
here.
And then season 2 I think I skipped over a lot of it in season 2, I think, and it was one of those things where I ended up watching like season 2 and 3 together type of thing. Like, one was in reruns. Right. And they were always airing like TNG, and after a while DS9, you know, daily. They were airing TNG daily, like the first few seasons.
Kira looks like shit here. She looks so much better later.
Yeah, that hair is awful.
The hair is awful. I'm sorry. Nana Visitor's awesome, though, by the way.
Oh, God.
Yes, my hair. Don't ask me. My fucking hair.
Like, I also didn't like, now I love all this, but I'm talking about like when I was a kid. was like, why are people angry in this show?
Yeah.
And like, it's not like TNG, and there's like tension and stuff. And but of course, when you get to know the show, you understand it's like it's the cultural nexus of the sector, I suppose.
Right.
And like you're gonna see all kinds of things and deal with all kinds of various issues. And in a way, it might be more stressful than actually exploring in a ship on a 5-year mission or something.
It's super interesting that like what she's pissed about is pretty cool and interesting. It's like the Bajorans finally got liberation from their Cardassian oppressors, and instead of creating a real government and like starting over, they ask the Federation to create a provisional government or help them, and it's like complex and stuff like that. So she's like pissed off because she's like, are we trading one oppressor for like a nicer, gentler other oppressor? Like it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, that's like all of that stuff way over my head when I was a kid.
Same.
I just didn't get it. Like, I didn't understand why she was angry, even though she's literally explaining exactly why.
Exactly.
It's like, what? Provisional, what's going on? Cardassians' occupation? I didn't even, like, at this, you gotta realize at that point, I'm not even aware of, I mean, TNG did bring it up, like, I think, Lower Decks, in the episode Lower Decks, about like the whole Bajoran.
Oh, the Maquis, and the Bajorans. But
I'm pretty sure it was after this had aired, or
I wonder. Maybe
it was probably in the same year. I gotta look it up actually. I'm gonna make sure I know my stuff with the power of the internet.
But more or less, what you're trying to say is that like this was like, kind of diving deeper into some like really
things that I didn't even think about. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I like this. Who the hell are you? He doesn't talk like that yet.
God, I see Odo now. My heart breaks, honestly.
I know. It's sad to see. Yeah, we lost Rene Auberjonois and Nog, who's fucking a kid in this.
Oh, my God. Nog ended up being such great. He's great in this pilot episode, actually, if I remember correctly. It's been 3 years, maybe, since I've seen it last. Whenever What We Left Behind came out.
Yeah, it's true. I love Quark.
It had to be 2018, wouldn't it? Yeah.
This was like amazing because Ferengis up until now were like so awful. They're just like they're just like crazy.
I can never quite pinpoint what's different about Armor Shimmerman's makeup. I always try to. What is it? Something with the nose, maybe.
I think it's the nose. There's way more detail in this. They smoothed it out, I think.
I think the ears are bigger too. I don't know. I had to do a comparison.
I'll be paying attention. Her hair looks better here, by the way. I was complaining about in that opening scene.
Okay, yeah. Lower Decks, the TNG episode aired a little bit over a year later.
Oh, from this. It's great.
So the referencing of the Bajoran and the Cardassian thing in that was it created in this show, like the whole Bajoran Cardassian thing, or did Ro mention it at some point?
It's hard. I know there's a bunch of people that watch them like overlapping, and I remember they were overlapping and it made sense at the time, but I can't remember specifically.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if like Netflix and Paramount Plus in their versions of DS9 just made this clip high def? It's like, well, now we're in TNG. We're on the Enterprise where it's been high def for years.
That would be really hilarious. That's funny.
It's like when they go to when Picard, the first time you see Picard and Beverly Crusher on DS9 in HD, it's like, oh my God, this is what the show would look like. And when Worf is there, he's got that scene with James Cromwell.
This is what I want. I love this. This technically, this is the handoff because you have two characters from two different shows sharing the same space. It's like a continuity. Like you have Bones in TNG, you have Picard in DS9, you have DS9 as a character in Quark. Really does the handoff to Voyager. There's no handoff in Enterprise, I guess. But I'm a sucker for ceremony. I love this kind of thing.
Birthright is the episode. part one, and well, mainly part one.
What's up
Wow,
with Captain
that's
Picard's...
cool! Oh my god, I didn't
What?
even realize this.
What is it?
Like, I'm so stupid. Okay, Birthright and this episode overlap. They literally take place in the same time.
Oh, really?
So when Worf goes over and you know, like, it's all about trying to find his dad or whatever, and when Picard and Beverly, you know, go over there, it's around this same time. I don't know if it's before this scene or after it, but I can't believe that hasn't clicked before, because
That's pretty cool.
Birthright aired less than a month later, or yeah,
And what's the...
about a month later.
What season is Birthright? 6?
6. Yes.
That's cool. They're so good together, by the way. I want to see
6 was a
more
great season, by the way.
Sir Patrick Stewart and Avery Brooks together on the screen is epic, because that's Hawk and that's Picard.
You don't get it. You don't get that ever again. It's like that. This will never occur.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There may be a split by Avery Brooks.
It can occur. It can occur.
It's technically possible.
It is technically possible. It can occur again, but yeah.
It's like, why? Why even? Just leave it at this. This is the best confrontation these two characters are ever gonna have. If you try to top that, it's not gonna work.
It's true.
But I like how Picard, just like the look on his face. It's like,
They're in the teaser for Star Trek Picard, though. They have like a lot of DS9 reference. They have that like stone or whatever, the broken thing. So who knows?
I can't trust their teasing. I can't trust what
know,
they mean by that.
Do you think the emissary is the emissary the only person that could foil Q? Could like Cisco come back to like stop Q from his machinations? I don't know.
I don't think Q is doing anything.
Doing anything weird.
Probably
Yeah,
annoying, but
yeah, but nothing bad.
This is where the whole Quark versus Odo thing. It's already been going on, but this is where we're first introduced. I love it.
Right.
He's so diplomatic, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He knows exactly what to say.
He's got all the chops of the Federation. Like he's such a good community leader. I love that part. Oh, Odo's so different. Look at his outfit, even's different.
Yeah. The makeup is lighter.
And the uniform's like yellow or mustard, and it gets like darker later, I think.
He's got a little bit of an accent, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
That he doesn't have later. Far too diplomatic, sir. No, not really. There's a little bit. There's a little bit of a twang. Gambler.
I loved the new uniforms, by the way. That was cool. And people complain about Lower Decks having like weird uniforms, but look, this establishes
Lower Decks?
Well, this established, and also Discovery, but this establishes that there are two uniforms at the same time during this period, because like Picard and crew still wore the TNG, like you know what I mean? Like there's like two different uniforms in play. So Starfleet has like uniform variations like all along. But I love this uniform. It's like one of the best uniforms.
And this is, what is it? What year is this? Goddamn it, I gotta look it up. Okay, this is 2370, right?
I think so, yeah.
So, 2371 is when you see the Enterprise start to change over.
Right.
So it seems like this is probably the first year of these uniforms.
Mm-hmm. But I love them.
I don't want to rewind now, but wasn't he wearing like an old school or
in the beginning?
Yeah,
this is the first. Yeah, this is the first time we're seeing this uniform. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's true.
And it's like a certain, you know, I mean, I would think like the changeover would be casual because, you know, in Generations people are like switching over mid-movie.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, yeah, I think I'll wear that new one now. It's like they literally say, yeah, there's a new style of uniform. You can just, you know, within the next so many weeks or whatever, you have to start wearing it, right?
Yeah, I agree. I like Kira's outfit, but how is that like an undershirt that's standard? Like, what is up with the crochet or whatever the?
It's terrible hair and terrible fashion, and I don't have an eye for either. But I can tell with this. Opaka.
Oh, I forgot about Kaiopaka.
I honestly, every time I watch DS9, I just like, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot how freaking layered this is, and how much they even just say in the first episode that ties into the fucking rest of it. Like, it's insane how the writer so cleverly expanded on such a tight hour and a half here, right?
Yeah, it's true.
And this totally links up with the very last episode. Not to get into the details of that, but you know what I mean, like.
Right. But why? By the way, it's a great bookend, just like what Team G did, actually, in a weird way with Q. But
All Good Things was fucking brilliant.
Perfect
It's
too.
one of the best series finales ever fucking made.
Yeah,
I mean, I think I personally really love Endgame.
Yeah.
People like Endgame.
I
fucking love that, man. I think
I've
it's
seen
awesome.
Endgame, but I'm gonna experience it for the first time when I finally finish freaking Voyager.
Oh yeah.
The Temple. Where is this filmed? I've always meant to look it up, but doesn't it remind you of the not Captain America, sorry, Avengers Civil War? Like, that's kind of like that same background there.
Oh, where like Baron Zemo leads them at the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where they're fighting exactly.
Where they're fighting, it kind of looks like that. It's for the condition in which I wouldn't put it past Kevin Feige to film it in the same place, by the way.
Oh yeah. I get ASMR vibes off of this for some reason. Like,
Me too. And she sells it, this actor.
I love this actor.
Yeah. Our Pa, the introduction of the Pa.
I'd be like falling asleep if she was doing that to me.
He's like,
I think he's actually he's like, oh, this is relaxing. Oh,
he's like a little
she's squeezing it
frustrated
now. And he's like, okay, this is
ironic.
no, I don't have to go to human resources after this and report you for inappropriate contact.
Imagine if Bajorans had to grab your balls to sense your Pa. That would be like,
There's got to be some alien race out there. That's how they greet you, and they
They grab
know.
your balls.
They just grab, and you're like, hey, what are you doing? It's like, but this is how we greet each other. Do you not do this in your culture? And then Archer's like, fucking Vulcans, crazy Vulcans.
This is epic, don't get me wrong, but it's not as polished as DS9 becomes later. DS9 becomes crazy polished later, right? Like,
I know, I get, yeah, I agree with that, but I find a lot of people like the show. I'll always look at season 1 as like the weakest, and I think it's like the backbone. It's the foundation.
it's
of
the
rest of
Bible.
show.
Yeah,
it
I
may
agree
not
with
be
that,
the
yeah.
most entertaining in terms of, because like seriously, when you're first watching this, like if you're a newcomer, you don't know anything about these characters and where they end up, I can see how it's like, okay, it's a little lackluster in terms of like entertainment value, but it's still got that like Star Trek crazy imagination, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this is
mind-blowing from just like what people understood in this like in this
I
time
love
where
that.
is it 93,
He feels-
like he feels the heat.
The illusion of it is like, oh, he can feel the fucking like,
Actually, it's not an illusion. If that's a
Not an
time warp,
illusion, but,
right?
like-
Right. It takes you to that time in a weird way. It's weird.
well, he's
Jennifer-
feeling every bit of it. It's
Yeah.
like
I like that she was topless bathing and she put her top back on.
yeah.
Not a lot of people catch that. I like the little ha ha he does later.
I'm not sure. I'm not. It's weird. I don't. I mean, I know I'm nitpicking here, but I find it weird how his character reacts here.
Tell me more.
He just seems a little bit like, I don't know, nonchalant. He's not as serious. He's not taking it as serious.
Because
like if he just was transported there, and you got the
Ow!
the hot sand.
I think he's
And
going
he sees
with,
Jennifer. I think he would be more like, "Oh my God, Jennifer!" But
No,
he's more like, "Hey,
yeah, I agree
what's
with
going on
that.
here? This is the first time we met. Gee golly!" And it's like,
It's
I don't know.
it's his wife that died. He would be more sad, I think. But he's showing it here right now in this scene.
Yeah,
I think for a second he got caught up in the illusion, like maybe his mind also traveled back, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. You know what I mean? Like, and now he's finally like realizing what's happening, like it's an illusion, and not an illusion, but like something else. You know?
Well, she really works out.
Can I just say, as a gay man, she's fine AF.
She is. I didn't
She's-
want to
It's
want to
okay.
be a creep about it.
I'm like 500% gay, so I'm just gonna say like yes, like I confirmed. Straight people out there, she is fine AF.
A
I
lot of this is.
I don't know about Cisco's outfit, but I still think he's fine AF too. Look at the
a lot
fashion.
of this is
look
automated dialogue. A lot of this is ADR. Because
ADR. Okay, yeah, it's true
Because
because it'd be too
oftentimes
loud.
when you
Yeah,
have
it's true.
when you have the walking scenes, and there is a boom mic off camera somewhere, but a lot of it usually has to be replaced.
You could see it doesn't match always, but it's pretty good. It's pretty close. Do you think it went down like this, or is he just doing this now because he knows what's happening? This is new, right? Like it didn't
acting
happen
different.
before.
I think he's acting differently.
Yeah, I agree. But like it's awesome. Can you imagine if someone came on to you like that? It's crazy. Oh, Brigine's too. Yes.
Oh
Oh.
no.
That's it. That still looks good. That like effect and everything. It's so good.
I thought it. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's
sad. I
sad.
thought he was gonna go. "Whoa!" again.
Ooh!
Dun, da, da, dun, 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 dun. 10,000
There's
years
9 orbs.
will give you such a crick in the neck.
That's the time orb, right? Which orb is that?
Yeah, it's the time warp, isn't it? It has to be.
I think so. It has to be a time orb.
Let's do the time warp again. I watched Rocky Horror Picture Show for the first time last year, I think. I was like, this is a pretty fucking good movie. By the way, the following will contain coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yes.
Well, your temples are on the side of your head, silly.
Kaio, Paka.
I love her name, Opaka.
I know.
Don't tell me what happened story, because I can't remember.
There's the orb of contemplation that we've seen on the show, the orb of prophecy and change, the orb of the emissary. He has one of his own. The orb of time, which I think that's what this is, and the orb of wisdom. But we haven't seen all 9.
Mm.
We've only seen 5 out of the 9. That's crazy.
I like the one of change the most. It reminds me of Rocky 4. You can change! I can change!
I wonder what the 9 orbs are all called. Like, it only lists 5 orbs on Memory Alpha. I want to know what the other ones are.
Well, when they're all combined, they summon the essence of Captain Planet.
Captain Bajor, PJ.
He has a great voice. Go ahead. Give me the news. On my way. So deep.
I can only do Cisco when he's like, and don't you dare fucking tell me what to do.
You know, there's only 3 captains with deep voices.
Yeah.
It's Kirk is not one of them. Certainly
No.
not Jonathan Archer. He has like a high kind of weird voice.
Picard had a deep voice.
Picard, Cisco, and Janeway have like
Deep voices.
bass in their voice that's very
Yeah,
commanding.
Michael doesn't have it. Lorca didn't have it either. You're right.
No.
Good point.
It's only Picard, Cisco, and Janeway. And I know it's weird. I mean, I'm not saying Janeway sounds like this. I'm just saying like she has that. Um,
Blue Spark, I am a romantic. I can't help it. This Quark's bar is
oh yeah,
awesome. This
that's what
like
I
introduction
was just looking like the hours and hours of man work just in this shot alone.
is impressive, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's another thing that there was there was a big deal about DS9 made for two things. And I remember, I don't know if it was on Entertainment Tonight or whatever it was on, but it was the promenade and the size of it, and like first thing in history built that size for a TV show, and the amount of aliens. Like they really made it a point to show actual, like they could have easily done, I don't know, 90% humans and a couple of aliens, but they try to get in as many aliens as possible, whether it's a humanoid with small prostheses or like full head kind of deal. Like
right. Look, it's an Earth class. Oh my gosh, this is insane. This is like high quality. Look at it docking. Like we see it freaking docking. What?
Like this is insane. This was top quality television production.
It's really it's true.
Like just the door, like in the pit, like that's,
you know what?
TV, that's pretty fucking awesome.
I don't know if anyone's listening, but just remaster this episode. Give us just this. You know what I mean? Like the premiere, right? Like just remaster this shit. Just forget if you don't want to do anything else. Just remaster this. So it deserves it. Look at the now visitor's look she just gave. Yeah. By the way, Dax is fucking awesome.
There is an issue with it, an episode by episode kind of thing. They did it with TNG before they released the seasons. They did The Inner Light and the Worf episode.
Right.
The Worf episodes.
Right.
And in assembling like the clips and scanning them, you would have to go through all the archives for specific, I think, things. I don't know how organized it is, but I think if they just took everything that was used in the show, scanned it first, and then organized it later, I don't know.
I don't know either. It's cool
a massive
to see,
undertaking. That's all I know.
It's cool to see Bashir and Dax in these uniforms. Also, can I say, PJ, with your permission, can I do a little rant about Rick Berman?
Oh God.
Terry Fair.
Yeah. Go
you
ahead.
know, she said that he was like, oh, I wish your boobs were as big as the others. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, men back in the day used to say
I
a lot of
know
things that were totally inappropriate and suffer no consequences because
thank goodness we were little kids in this era. We didn't have to participate in that bullshit. We're not like that. Although I do think that it's perfectly fine to fetishize private parts. It's part of the sexual experience, but you have to do it with permission.
What are you talking about? Where'd this go?
Fetishizing private parts. It's okay. Boobs should be fetishized. They're beautiful.
Boobs are beautiful.
Boobs are beautiful. It's true.
Hi, my name is James Blunt. That's what he sounds like when he talks.
Oh my God.
Hi. I sound exactly like how I sing. I went to the Taco Bell the other day.
It makes me so sad to know. I like Esri, but it makes me sad to know what's going to happen. That's all I got to say.
I don't mean to be a butthead or anything, but Jadzia is kind of dull early on.
Yeah,
she doesn't develop a personality really until later. Or
I
they
think
don't give her one.
They didn't I think they developed her over time. She gets really great later on, but in the beginning, it works though because she's very scientific. She's almost like the Vulcan character. Like she could easily be a Vulcan character if not a Trill. You know what I mean? She's very analytical.
Blue says you are such a romantic.
I am a romantic. It's true, Blue. It's true.
Now
there's Curzon.
Yeah, this is interesting. Pretty graphic for TV too. I still can't like that old man as Curzon. Like I just can't get anything from that. Like I can't picture him in the past with
Right.
the Klingons and.
Who would you cast as like a Curzon? Like if you were to cast, like Curzon and Cisco had adventures when he was younger, before the Saratoga, probably. Who would you cast as like a younger Curzon again and a younger Cisco if you were to get a one-off, like a movie or a series about?
I would love Michael B. Jordan to be
Cisco. Yes,
Oh
I
my
like
God,
that idea. Yeah,
perfect.
it's awesome. Yeah, it's true.
because he has that like
Who would be
militaristic
his?
commanding kind of attitude, right?
Who would be his Curzon?
Oh jeez, I would have to be Owen Wilson.
Oh my God, I love. Okay, officially agreed. Curzon should be. That was amazing.
Owen Wilson.
Yes.
because I'm.
Oh my gosh.
Loki recently, right?
Can we get Owen Wilson to play Curzon Dax?
I can see him and Michael
Yes.
B. Jordan. And
Oh my God, that's genius.
Curzon's like, hey, let's go on an adventure. Yeah.
This upsets me a little bit. Like, all he got was Sir Patrick Stewart. Even though Patrick Stewart's great, like, why wouldn't the rest of the crew say goodbye to O'Brien?
I mean, they probably had a party and everything.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, could they not have?
And it's like, why make a big fuss of like the exact time that you're leaving?
I guess.
But Picard does show up here. There
He
you go.
does. This is nice, Mr. O'Brien.
I really liked you because you said you played with ships and bottles, and you became my best friend ever since.
I do like that Picard beams him. I'm getting a little
Yeah,
emotional.
I like that.
Yeah, it's nice.
It would have also been interesting if, in addition to the Cisco Picard scene, that this was also completely remastered, and then it just cut to standard definition. And they went to
This is sweet. He's like, I called for you. Oh my God, I love it. Oh, look at this. This is so nice.
He was just a day player in the first. Like he wasn't supposed to be anything.
Right, it's
Colm
true.
Meaney. He was
It's
just
true.
like,
By the way, Colm Meaney just is an epic actor. Like, his career is pretty cool. Like, if you want to follow a good actor.
he played an Irish immigrant who comes to Newfoundland in a miniseries called Random Passage.
Oh, cool.
So he played one of my ancestors basically.
Oh, look at this. This is how you depart. It's so good. Ah! I
Jesus.
just sorry, I know.
I'm scared.
Can I just say also, Colm Meaney's in Far and Away, which is he's great in that movie. He's like such a good bad guy. Ducat. From the start, we get Ducat.
Yes, we also thought Adira from Discovery would be.
Oh, sorry, I'm
Dax.
full screen. What is happening?
But
Comments?
Blue said I would love more Dax, though Adira was going to be. I thought Adira was going to be Dax. Yeah, a lot of people thought that, and then
Yeah, I thought that.
they turned out just to be like another
Tall.
kind of Curzon kind
Tall,
of thing. Where
right?
It was an old tall, yeah.
Yeah,
It was so very similar to that character, I suppose, in that way, where it's
I guess so.
you were once an old man, you were just an old man, but this time Adira is different because Adira is human.
Now,
Oh
Marco,
my God, this is weird seeing him for the first time.
I know. Well, Marco Lamo was in TNG. He played a Cardassian, a totally different character.
Yeah, different. Yeah, it's when
but
they
he
had the
pla-
headpieces for what is it?
the visors or whatever. Yeah, it's true.
The umpire masks.
Yeah. Show you that we only want to be helpful in this difficult transition. Fuck you, Caldecott.
Now he's also playing a bit of an accent too.
Yeah.
Him and
It's weird that Cardassians would
quick
use
to
like
respond. He's like a little tin. He's not quite. They're all getting their bearings, I think. And I think a lot of these actors, when they're playing aliens, they want to do some kind of
accent.
That's, I don't know, like he's trying to do like a regal thing. He's trying to sound British without that
Right.
Frasier way of talking.
Right. It is weird that Cardassians remind me of reptiles. They're reptilian, but the chair that Cisco's sitting on, which used to be Gul Dukat's chair,
Yeah.
looks like reptile leather.
Yeah. And the aesthetic of like a Trek show on an alien station.
Yeah.
So you could completely depart. You can combine it too, though. But
Yeah, I agree.
one of the things I appreciated about how they cast the Cardassians as a race is that they would often cast tall, lanky men with not abnormally large necks, but that kind of like, those long. So some tall people, have that kind of long neck.
Minus Andrew Robinson, who's really short. I think he's like average
exactly.
height,
So I remember as a kid when I would used to see Cardassians that didn't have, like, the actors themselves didn't have that physicality. I kind of dismissed them as like, oh well, they didn't cast that well, or because. But then you realize, like, you see Cardassians of all kinds of heights, and the necks are very, like, they're not as prominent on some actors. Like, there's Garrick is like a good in between, and then I think his mother or somebody, or like an older relative of his, shows up or something, and like they're really stocky, and it's like I used to think as a kid that didn't work for the Cardassians. I thought they all had to kind of be like, because it made them look reptilian, like,
right.
And it's great. It's not even necessarily like the actor has to have an extremely long neck or anything, but the whole thing about creating the illusion of a long neck by putting the shoulders like way down, you know what I mean, of the costume. It's almost like they're trying to create an illusion, like if you were to reimagine Cardassians and budget and visual effects weren't an issue, they would all kind of have like heightened necks to really differentiate them from. Same thing with Ferengis. Like, I think if they were to ever do Ferengis now, there would probably be differences.
Yeah.
Like, they could do movement in the eyebrows, and the ears could actually be a little more translucent, like real ears.
Like real ears, yeah.
Light shines through them when they're big like that. Looking back on this now, and it was great at the time, and Doug Drexler, genius, whatever, I'm not dissing it, I'm just saying now the techniques are there to...
Well, we have to remember
make
also
the Ferengis look even more real.
All the Ferengis. This is the first time we see the Ferengis like really being like treated with like more, if you'll pardon the expression, respect. Because up until now they were like barbarians. Like I love that Lower Decks makes fun of that. By the way, like,
and Armin Shimmerman played the original Ferengi.
Yeah.
Right?
He was in that episode.
He didn't like the way that turned out. He thought it was just a little... It is silly when you look back in that episode.
It is silly when you look back on it.
They're kind of like gyrating constantly in the background. Like,
they're always... Yeah, exactly. It's a good word, gyrating.
They got ants in their pants or something. But another thing about the Ferengi makeup that you could definitely not necessarily reimagine, like change the look of, like they did with, say, Tellarites, but even something as simple as giving the ear holes depth. Like, the ears themselves could be a little more translucent.
This is epic. Little bit.
I know.
PJ. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
But ear holes, like you don't see the depth in the ears. You know what I mean? Yes, that's an example of very expensive, very early CGI in a TV series.
It's insane that was in Star Trek. That was like impressive because like. T-1000 was the last thing. Like, this is like post Terminator 2, and so everyone was like, and also the Abyss also did effects like this.
Well, the Abyss was 89, Terminator 2 was 92.
But to see this on TV was epic. Like, I think that was like insane. I don't think any other television show had done effects like this. This is like a DS9 thing, you know what I mean?
Terminator 2 was 1991. So yeah, you never really saw a lot of CG in TV.
This looks insane too. Look at this fucking shit.
And it was right before. This was right before Jurassic Park with the very first representation of photorealistic CGI animals.
Yeah, it's true. Good point.
And then,
That Odo effect looked insane. They really put the budget in there. You know what I mean? Like that was cool. Like the
and
Odo
people
dude
don't even people look.
materializing.
I know some people would look back and say, well, that's so dated."
No,
Man, the effort it took just to make shit like that back then was.
on TV.
I'm not necessarily saying it was like 10 times easier or anything to do it now, but I'm
Right.
just saying like, I mean, the rendering alone took fucking like so
Start-
long.
Today we have so much like sci-fi on TV, but Star Trek was the only thing, I think, if I'm not mistaken, on TV at this time that was like this. Like there was nothing else. There was no competition for Star Trek. There was no other show. Babylon 5 comes like, what is it, like in season 2, right? Or did Babylon 5 come in season 1? I'm not sure.
I barely paid attention. I remember it was on at the same time, and I watched some of it.
But I don't think it started at the same. I think DS9 actually got the head start, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta look it up.
I'll look it up. Hold on. Babylon
Alright.
5.
And regardless, TNG freaking had the head start. TNG, that was the only science fiction for a long time. This was epic.
Babylon 4 came out in 1994.
And when did this come out?
No, sorry. It
Five,
came out just
Babylon
after
5.
this, actually. Came out
See?
a month later.
A month later. So
On
DS9.
February 22nd, 1993, which I...
All right. You watch that Odo shot and all these effects with like models and shit, and you watch Babylon 5 and the CG effects that they do, it's so different.
The first episode of Babylon 5 aired the exact night of Birthright Part 1, TNG, February 22nd, 1993.
I mean, you could tell on Babylon 5. I like Babylon 5. I'm watching it, but you could tell the sets are made of wood. Like Star Trek was leagues above Babylon 5. There's no comparison. Look at this. Look at this bullshit. Look at it. It's insane.
Yeah, Mr. Woodchuck from Full House wouldn't. he wouldn't like the Babylon 5 sets because he'd be like, "Is this set made out of wood?" I don't know. Remember Mr. Woodchuck? I don't know why that completely escaped my mind until you just talked about that. I'm like, why am I? It's like the sets are made of wood.
You're really interested in this cast from the beginning. They're really great. I love these people.
Honestly, when I first saw it, I was excited to see a new Trek show.
New Trek show,
Because
me too. Same thing here. Yeah.
It was the first time a TV show that I loved ever had a continuation of some sort or a spin-off.
PJ, I didn't stick with it though. I became that age when you start clubbing and dating and all that bullshit, and I stopped watching DS9 like on season 2.
I didn't stop watching. Well, I waned in season 2, 3, and then I kind of caught up.
Which is stupid
And
because it gets better. like if you think about it.
Yeah, like I wasn't one of these people who watched it from beginning to end. I had a mix of season 2 and 3 because
I feel bad about it, but it's still.
Channel 10, which is called ASN, used to air like the best stuff. I mean, they literally just aired all the best, like everything good you can think of was on that channel at one point. This Channel 10 called ASN. I think it was from Nova Scotia, I'm not sure. But anyway, they used to air like TOS, TNG, and then DS9. Like in that way, you know what I mean? When they all got to reruns. Well, obviously TOS, TNG, but when DS9 got to be on like every day type of thing, once it got past like season 3, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I remember just like TOS, TNG, DS9,
Right.
that was the thing right after school.
Right.
And until like Batman 66 came on another channel called YTV at 4:30, and I would abandon the DS9 slot to watch the half-hour Batman.
Oh, interesting.
I can't remember what. It's funny how I remember that because it's like back then you only had such a limited selection.
This is so cool.
And you had
That's
to plan when to watch things, and you had to choose one
You
thing
did.
over the other. Like you couldn't just
true.
fucking. And
Streaming today.
technically,
is so
you
different.
could do the thing where you had a VCR and you could record one channel while watching it. You could do that with some tinkering, but fucked if anybody knew too much about like It was only the newer VCRs that would let you program stuff. Like, first time we got a VCR was 1990. The first thing we ever rented was Dick Tracy.
Oh, that's awesome. Tracy.
Anybody listening, I want to point to it's on YouTube. It's an episode of Movie Magic. Just type in Movie Magic DS9, and you will get a behind-the-scenes look of how they built the space station and how they created this scene.
Oh yeah,
all of these rocks are like just carved miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
Not mini miniatures, but you can see how they're hand done.
I like that Jadzia's in like a idyllic setting and he's in like a dark setting. It's really cool. Like when you saw that earlier.
Yeah, they're like confused as to what each person is seeing.
It shows that it's a great way visually to illustrate what's happening here. The orb is creating their reality based on their own.
None of this jived with me. I remember.
Really?
I was just like, I don't. What? It's like something's going on.
Now you like it though.
Oh yeah, now I do. But
look at this. See, she's seeing the.
These are definitely the weaker. This is the weaker aspect of this pilot, this two-parter. I find it's a little. I mean, I get it, but I still find it very interesting.
It's so insane what they did at this, like, for a pilot of a Star Trek show. I think like this is insane.
It's effects heavy. It's very effects heavy.
Yeah, and I hate to say this, like I like Voyager now, like I've been watching it, but this is way better than the Voyager pilot.
Some of the best episodes of DS9 have minimal effects.
Yeah, it's true. I agree. Dun 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 dun.
Am I dead?
Am I dead?
Jennifer! Ah! Jennifer, come back to me. What are you doing? Get down. Get to the chopper. I don't know why Arnold Schwarzenegger is in Star Trek now, but I like Colin Meaney's Irish accent.
Yeah.
Although I can't do it accurately. Even though like I come from a place where we all speak with an Irish accent. You know what people say when they greet you here?
What's that?
It's like once you say it in Ontario, you realize how off-putting it is to people, and they're like, "What did you just say to me?" It's "What are you at?"
What are you at?
It's just "What are you at?"
What are you?
But it said "What are you at?" Hey,
That's
what are you
so
at?
funny. What are you at? What are you
It's
at?
literally said just like that. What are you
It's
at?
not how now, brown cow. What was that? All that shit. All that how now, brown cow thing about.
What is how now, brown cow? What does that mean?
Some sort of Canadian greeting. When I
Jesus,
was
I've
told
never
about
heard
it.
that.
Okay. Who are you?
If somebody is in disbelief of you, or like they don't get you, you know what they say? They say, "Go away, bye."
Go away.
Go away, bye.
What did you say?
Oh yeah,
This is cool.
I forgot
Yeah.
the card shows. Oh, I forgot all about that. That's good stuff.
Are you capable of communicating with me? Are you?
You should take a look at the comments. Blue says, "I love this. Thank you." And the effects hold up today. And
They do.
I watched from start to finish, but I know what you mean. I was just an ugly 20-something-year-old.
Wow, shit, Blue.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah, fuck that, Blue. What is this time?
Yeah, Sirach doesn't get to do a lot of acting in this episode.
He's fine though.
He's
not like distracting in any way. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe I'm forgetting what happens in the rest, because I'm pretty sure there's a Nog Jake kind of subplot, isn't there?
I thought so. Maybe that's episode 2. The next episode, I feel
Probably,
like.
Okay. She's so dull. It is no ordinary wormhole. Damn, the writers didn't give me a personality. And Bashir is not the most likable person for a little bit. I mean, even in rewatches, I find some of the characters I have to, kind of warm up to again.
Right.
I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I love this character. I forgot I love that character. It's not that I forget. It's just there's something about the way the not O'Brien's perfect. He's always been that way, and he always will be that character. Like he doesn't change. Like I mean,
Right. He's
not,
a good.
not in in the way the actor plays them. I mean,
It's also genius to bring him from the Enterprise because it's like he's that like first connection. Like it's like if you're like, oh, Deep Space Nine's so weird, but you're like, oh wait, I know O'Brien. Like I've had stories with him before. I don't know. It's like a cool thing.
yeah. It's like he went on adventures with the guys from the Enterprise D.
I'll tell you what I'll do for you, Mr. O'Brien.
I tell you a tale. That's how I'll tell me, boy. Wow. Wow.
2
Every time
days.
she speaks, I'm like, that's not the Jadzia.
Also,
No.
it's true. Also, the Enterprise just left. It's already 2 days away. Is that weird?
Well, warp factor, whatever, right?
Right, but it's already 2 days away. I don't know. I guess
Well,
it's
how
true.
much time has passed?
2 days, I guess.
It would have to be more than 2 days because if they were 2 days away, that would be like, okay, 2 days maximum. They could be there. They could be here.
Oh, true. That's a good point.
So if they were not like speeding away,
So maybe like a week. I don't know. It's weird. Timey-wimey.
I know. Like I believe, and I'm probably wrong. That like a week or so passes in this episode when you get past that 3-year jump. But you don't get a sense of the days, you know what I mean?
Right. The Odo thing, look, it's established from the start. He's like already like, all my life I've thought I was alone, but maybe the answer to me is on the other side of the wormhole.
And
That's
another
interesting.
thing about Trek and the passage of time and how many days are going by, which is kind of ambiguous in a lot of episodes if you really think about it,
Yeah.
is the fact that you don't see the daylight and the nighttime.
Oh, true. Good point.
So you kind of have to rely on this is a separate shift from the last scene, the last thing. So it must be another day. You know what I mean? Because there's different people on the bridge.
This is crazy. Patrick Stewart had to put on his Borg makeup again.
Oh yeah.
I forgot how big a part Patrick Stewart was of this. He's like huge in this.
Yeah.
Look.
Oh my God, Locutus.
I know. This is epic, man.
It's like
I gotta say.
Locutus is a character.
Yeah.
TNG, now DS9, and First Contact. So there's that trifecta there, a connection between DS9, the Borg, and Enterprise D. Oh, if only, oh my God, if only Cisco and the crew of DS9 could be on that bridge in First Contact. What an epically, monumentally better movie that would have been.
That's funny.
On top of the fact that it's it's pretty good. It's entertaining as hell.
I hope Avery Brooks will reconsider and come back to Star Trek at some point. He's so great.
It's after a point, it's like just cherish what they did.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying
I'm almost
icing on my
afraid
cake.
I'm almost afraid for him to come back. And I know it wouldn't retroactively ruin the character or anything, but maybe it would. But I can still consider just this his story and nothing else if whatever else comes in the future disappoints. But it's like Q. It's like what I'm really curious, but I don't know what they're gonna do with him.
Yeah, it's true.
But I still have the Q from TNG, which wasn't a perfect character. I mean, there's some shitty Q episodes.
Look at this shield.
You don't see that very often.
This is the only time I'm recalling.
Well, I guess because they're calibrating it and whatnot. It's like, damn this Cardassian technology.
The Bajoran uniform colors never actually made sense to me. Maybe they'll make sense as we rewatch this.
Colors don't make sense to me in general.
That's true.
Engage them friggin' thrusters, me son. Can you spare some cutter, me brother? Dublin's fair city. By the way, if these commentaries continue, which they probably will, I'm gonna try to do pre-recorded ones so I can build up enough to release them on a certain schedule, maybe.
Right on.
As opposed to being just kind of random. So like we'll secretly record some, you know what I mean? At our leisure, so we don't have to adhere to some kind of like we gotta try to do this every Saturday. Fucking,
yeah, exactly.
Which we've been doing a lot. We've been doing commentaries a lot of Saturdays this year.
It's true. Commentaries are fun.
Black Widow, Mortal Kombat. We still have to go and re-record the fourth one for Masters.
We'll do that.
All this information is irrelevant right now to anybody listening in the future.
Real quick, sorry, Blue. You're gonna get episode 4. Don't worry. But we have our episode 5 stream that's still up.
Yes, I have a type of color blindness, Blue.
Oh, cool.
I don't know. It's a combination of two types, and it's people find that out in real life, and they're like, "So, do you see this? Do you see that?" You know, like, and it's like it's hard to tell them like I can't explain it.
What's
like
the deal?
I literally can't explain it. It's I see things one way and you see things another. That's all there is to it.
PJ, what's the deal with those pipes that connect from like the top of the chair to the bottom of the chair? Like in The Expanse, it's because they inject you with drugs so you can survive like high gravity, high G, like forces, acceleration, forces. But it's interesting. I wonder what they mean for this show.
Like probably absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, it just looks cool. By the way, Naren Shankar, who is, I think, a showrunner for The Expanse, worked on Star Trek. And I think he worked on Voyager and Deep Space Nine. It's crazy where Gul Dukat is going to be taken, like the direction he goes in. To see him in this first episode. It's so different.
I mean, it's cool because it is the pilot and a lot of introductions and a lot of setting up. It is kind of dull. I think the second half is weaker than the first half.
Really?
It's just slightly. It's not like a big thing.
I mean, it definitely
I don't mean
takes
weaker as in like the second half is inferior.
Right.
I'm just saying it's not as exciting in the second half.
It takes a different turn tonally, but I love it. I think it's awesome. This blew my mind as a kid. It opened me up to like thoughts that I never, you know what I mean, like dimensions and time, and it's pretty cool.
I don't mind like where, visions and entities embodying past, lovers or whatever. But yeah, I remember the pilot for Voyager. I was really disappointed. I was like, oh no, I hope the show is not like this. And it was for a few seasons. I'm like, shit. I really didn't like Voyager. I had watched it. I actually watched it.
I can't even remember. We should watch Voyager together sometime.
But the caretaker stuff and like the aliens were just, like town folk, that kind of thing. I was like, oh, this is so TOS. I thought they were going to use the budget to show like trippy aliens or something like far out. I actually was under the false impression that Voyager would be like TOS or TNG on like steroids or something. I don't know why I was thinking that. Like it would be like, well, it's the Delta Quadrant, so it'd be like a lot of CGI, alien, which there were.
I get it, yeah.
But it was a little more. I don't know. I was bored with Voyager at first. And oddly enough, it was like the Worf thing with DS9. When Worf showed up in DS9, I was like devout fan, watched every week, wouldn't miss an episode. Same thing with 7 of 9 when they started introducing the Borg in Voyager. I was like all in because the Borg was my jam. Like I love the Borg, and now they're nothing. Like they've been overdone and overcooked, and
I think that
false origin stories and like weird shit. I don't know. I don't like it anymore.
you don't
I
like
don't
the
care.
whole Picard thing, the with them
I
in the Picard.
I don't like. I don't care if they do anything with the Borg now, because Discovery had a very confusing proto Borg origin, non Borg origin story that just like was
Control,
distracting and disappointing at the end. In the end, and what Picard did built them up as interesting things. Like what they did with them, like the concepts and stuff were interesting. It's just like people were like, "Well, Seven gets on that cube, it's gonna, shit's gonna like get really cool." And it's like, no, they didn't. It's like they didn't know what to do. Like they had to put something in there, and they didn't. I don't know. Even Akiva Goldsman admitted, like, we didn't really know how to wrap it all up.
I was disappointed.
That's crazy.
By that.
She's walking through the fire in a bathing suit.
Yeah, but this is cool. The whole idea of like, why do you exist here? Which is interesting. This was mind blowing. Yeah,
this is a very crazy visual effects. It's her in the foreground, that fire in the background.
Right.
Looks so. It doesn't look like a green. It doesn't look very green screen. What's wrong? What's happening? That's crazy. See, that's the thing. They literally have to redo all of these CG effects, but not really actually improve on them, which is the point, right?
I hate to say this, but YouTubers have done it, and it looks good.
You don't need. I love how TNG recreated.
Everything is
optical
exactly
effects.
the same. Yeah, it's like the same as it was. Yeah,
that's true artistry to me. When CGI artists can make something look like it was made
practical,
in the 80s.
or exactly.
Or 90s.
But just HD, right? Like just to upscale it, yeah.
And that wormhole effect was just...
Wormhole? What is this? It lined up. It is terminated. Our existence is disrupted when... There's a lot of actors in this. Look at this.
Wow, what a mean crew.
Yeah.
I like Locutus just
in the background. It's epic. This is so good.
And it's going to sound weird, but another thing I knew this show and like some of Trek was doing, not necessarily preaching to me, but like I knew that like when this kind of stuff, I'm like, I get that they're trying to teach me a lesson, but I wanted the pow pow bang bang stuff. And
well, yeah,
the philosophical, thoughtful nature of this show, like I said before, it went over my head. The concepts of like, the occupation and stuff like that. It's like, I get it, but I just don't know I don't know the seriousness of it. Like I didn't. Son of a Red Shirt is here.
Hey, Son of a Red Shirt. Let's see. Let me go out of full screen here.
Oh, cool. You guys are starting to do Deep Space Nine. It's a great series. Concurrently watching it for a few dollars more with EAA's nighttime air show. And now this. Saturday night has been so fun for years.
Thanks for being here. I'm glad you're watching. By the way, if you're looking for a timestamp to line up with us, we are currently at... What are we at, PJ? Do you have a timestamp?
On Netflix, it does the negative thing.
Oh, yeah.
There's only 19...
There's only 19 minutes and 26 seconds left. 25, 24, 23. Yeah, okay, good idea. It's linear.
I remember being able to tap, like this is on my phone here now. I don't really see the point in watching DS9 on a big screen TV. It actually looks better on a smaller screen. Like the DVD quality picture looks better on a smaller screen than it does blown up. And later, we're gonna play with some Vulcans. This
I
ties
love
back.
that.
This ties to that episode actually. Like,
Right. I love
he was
that
a lover of
baseball's in it
baseball.
from beginning. Yeah, it's cool. It's very nice. You value your ignorance of
and
what's to come.
Odo as the umpire. Oh my god,
Right.
priceless. It's one of the. Oh, that episode is just one of the best.
Look, he's wearing the other uniform right now.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Have you ever played baseball? I used to play when I was a kid, like softball mostly, but yeah, I played baseball too.
Day by day by day by day.
What does the G stand for? Like, what team is that? He's like the G, like the OG. Actually, you got to give Sirach Lofton a huge credit because he's playing himself and he's playing this like transcendental being his, you know what I mean? Like, he's doing a good job. I appreciate it.
I don't know what the G means.
Yeah, it means OG, like G. He's like the G.
I don't know. We gotta get that Ducat guy.
Ducat.
Let's get that Ducat.
Ducat.
Hey,
Just
I'm
sad.
Gold Jusad. What you want from us, huh?
We never see Gull just sad again. He's like a
occupation's
nobody.
over. Get off my back. The past is the past. He's very theatrical, isn't he?
I'm looking at the
He's like
comments.
really using his mouth. You can't see me now. I look really very silly. Look at it. He's really jutting his jaw out, isn't he? He's like, "Arr, I'm a beast. I'm a reptilian alien of some sort. I'm not quite sure what this is, what show I'm in, but I'll just play it as I see it."
Just sad.
And I play golf with Rick Berman, so it's all good.
Gull's just sad. He's so sad. Kira's pretty good here. A lot of people found her annoying, and I didn't find her annoying. I think she's pretty tough. She's cool.
Now I'm gonna be 100% real with you here. People weren't used to female, and this is a fact.
Oh,
People
yeah,
weren't
it's
used
true.
to female characters who weren't sensitive and fragile.
Right.
And that was a thing. Like if there was a strong female character, she had to have some vulnerability, and they do that with her later with the Odo stuff. And
plus, she's coded as a lesbian here. Like
yeah, they kind of make it so that like she's a manly woman. Like that's
manly
the mentality
woman. Yeah.
they had back then of like.
I didn't mean to say
Well,
lesbian.
she's
Sorry.
Could have been like, you know. I'm sure there was people out there who probably thought or wished it, and then thought at the same time, well,
Yeah,
TV,
she and Dax
TV
are
in this
fucking-
time doesn't allow that, right?
Right, but
And
she
that's
and
a
Dax
fact.
did fuck for sure.
They were so against any kind of representation of that kind back then. It was scary, like how, because what would happen is like with the, there's a lesbian kiss in this show at one point, and all of a sudden, the same thing with the Uhura Kirk kiss.
Right.
You get these certain states like, we're not going to air this. You're going to lose sponsors. It like literally affects the finances of the show.
Right.
So it becomes like basically becomes a very sad business decision. But I mean, it's like they look back now. Like Garrick is not here yet, but they look back and they're like, "Oh, we should have made Garrick gay." It's like, you know what? It's okay because it was a different time, and we could just use our imaginations.
I agree.
Because everybody just ships him and Bashir anyway, right?
Right.
And by the way, there was a CNN show I guess was chronicling the 90s. And they talked about like sitcoms in the 90s with like strong black characters as the center. And of course they talk about Cosby Show and this and that or whatever. did not mention DS9. It's like that was
That's
one of
terrible.
the that was a science fiction show with a huge budget, with a black male lead, a single father who was like had a great relationship with his kid.
I know, this was such a great thing. Yeah,
it went against the easy stereotype back then,
right.
which like everybody was in like a stereotypical box. Gay characters, black, Asian, like dull white people were like in a kind of weird Chandler category of like, what's your purpose? Are you like who was talking about Chandler being
Written as gay, right?
Was supposed to be written as gay, but they didn't want to do that because risky and people aren't ready and all this bullshit. Yeah, it's at this point I'm like, Cisco, have you learned your lesson yet? Have you... It's sad though, I know.
I know, it's really sad.
He's so good at showing like or portraying like what seems to be genuine pain. Like he doesn't hold back. And I actually I know it might be, I don't know if anybody will agree. I think he's a bit of a better actor than Patrick Stewart.
I'm gonna say they're on par.
Actually, I think both Kate Mulgrew and Avery Brooks are. I don't mean like better. I mean maybe they were just given juicier stuff because Picard and a lot of TNG is just very. He has his little moments, his little speeches at one point in the episode, but it's never as intense as scenes with Cisco. And you look at Janeway, there's moments of great aggravation and irritation with her that Mulgrew just plays so well. And by God, if she doesn't have her coffee, watch out. And you knew that about Janeway too. It's like, don't mess with Janeway when she doesn't have her coffee. Don't ever mess with Cisco in like a life or death situation because you will lose every time. But Picard felt a little more safe. You know what I mean? That's the only.
Yeah, totally. Difference.
It's like Picard was given some juicy stuff with the whole mind melt thing with Sarek.
Right, that's like, true.
Oh, he's like really fucking like, that's probably him at his best. But beyond that, there wasn't like a whole lot.
Oh man, my stream buffered. What timestamp are you? How many minutes left do you have?
10:37.
I'm at 11. Hold on. Let me see if I can keep saying your timestamp, please.
10:31, 10:30.
All right, we're pretty close. On screen.
You don't think Starfleet? Okay.
Space station. Without the ability to defend it, do you? Defend it? Gull just sod. Bullshit, Gull.
I know how shitty that space station is. What are you talking about? That's what he's trying to say. She's like, but we had O'Brien, motherfucker. We made some changes around this place. And it's crazy how the show and the characters and what they say and even what she just said there has so much more meaning when you know more. You know what I mean?
Right.
At this point, you don't know, so like.
Yeah.
It's not like they're empty words. You get there's emotion there, but it's like. There's something.
Remind
about
me
a
never
great
to
show
get in a game of Aladdin wildcard for you. Sorry.
Malarkey. I fell asleep down by a stream, and there I had the strangest dream.
5,000 photons, damn.
With some species, like they're all like regal or British sounding or something like that. Wouldn't it be funny if they just had a species and they're all like Irish? Just all like it's like
Northern
people
Romulans.
The people like, how does a Romulan have an accent? Like, you mean how does an alien in Star Trek have a European accent? Like, that's never been fucking done before.
It's so true. I don't know why people were outraged about that. That was stupid.
Cheeky fuckers.
Cheeky feckers.
And you know, as much as I rag on that show, I love Laris and
Yeah, she's great.
and
Jaban.
Jaban. Although you don't get really any of him, you don't really.
Yeah,
he's kind of there and gone.
It's true.
At least she gets an episode 2 kind of like CSI moment.
Look at all this shit. Wow.
I'm going to say a lot of complicated space jargon and sciencey things in hopes that it will go so over your head that you won't question what I'm saying. Picard. Do it. Fire them lasers. Blow up that ship up there.
This is good. This is really good. Good action here.
And that's another thing in Trek. I've never heard like a fucking like get a jabroni in there, man. Be like some guys like he's like, shall I fire on the ship, Captain? Photon torpedoes away.
That's what Garibaldi is in Babylon 5. He's a jabroni. Wow, look at this crazy shit.
I don't even know if you're allowed to use that. Maybe that word's cancelled. I have no idea. But The Rock used to say it back in the day, so it's okay.
Jabroni.
Damn, controls are locked. Cardassian bastards sabotaged the whole station they did. I don't trust them. They killed me, son.
Why is the doctor on the bridge? Well, it's ops. It's not the bridge, but...
That's another. It's weird, but another thing that kind of weirded me out as a kid, I was like, I didn't know ops was the place.
Right.
I didn't quite catch on. Like, oh, this is where we're going to be spending a lot of time. But really, the promenade is
also
very heavily used too. So
Odo looks more humanoid.
Yeah.
Like he has like wrinkles and stuff. Later, he's just super smooth.
I think they took that design from the episode The Chase. Those
Yeah.
aliens, like that.
Yeah,
was,
I agree.
And they used that same actor to play the founder.
The founders. Just one more phaser blast? What happened to 2,000 photon torpedoes? This is really powerful.
Ooh.
They gave Kira like a huge segment of the episode. And Dax. You talk about woke Trek? This is woke Trek. What?
That's what I'm. Just imagine if the internet existed. Like,
Right.
we got
People
women. It's all representation and diverse. We're it's like what?
This is super woke. This is like woke before woke
and I
was a
know.
word.
Woke is it's been co-opted. That word has been co-opted.
I
just to
know.
Be a cringy word now. Nobody even wants to hear it.
Sorry.
I'd like to think enlightened.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, this is epic for this time. Like, what people don't remember that Star Trek always pushes the envelope. You know what I mean? Like, in this sense.
And it's true, but at the same time, Starfleet Boy,
Yeah.
Avery Brooks's hair was an issue. Remember?
That's true.
Because
It's true.
And this was a thing with old white executives back then.
They didn't want black hair. It's true.
They didn't want a black man with his head shaved and a goatee like he looked in his older show, the spin-off of God, what was that called again? Oh my God, he was in a show. He was a sidekick, and then he got his own show.
Oh, Hawk.
Hawk,
A
yeah,
Man
yeah,
Called
yeah.
Jack, yeah.
A Man Called Hawk. I don't know why I forgot that. Yeah, it was a spin-off of Spencer for Hire. But anyway, yeah, like they in the documentary What We Left Behind, it was like I don't even understand it. It's like he would have looked too badass. He would have looked too cool. What was the issue? It's like
I don't know.
So
It's
stupid in retrospect, right?
Stupid. They also didn't want him to have a goatee. Like, Avery Brooks had to fight for that. Look at the Enterprise like ambling
and they also
in.
didn't want people to identify him as Hawk.
Hawk, yeah,
and it's true. Like, you know what? The character's different and the acting is different. The story's different. I think people would have understood.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's wake up here, people. Smell the roses.
Look at this.
I don't know why I forget about Patrick Stewart's scenes in this completely.
He's like epic in this, yeah.
He purposely held back, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's like,
this is nice.
He's playing with him here. I think.
No, I think he's sincere.
No, he's. I think he's seeing if he's really committed. Like, he's kind of testing.
Oh,
like,
Picard!
I think Picard.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He was holding back, and he kind of knew he was going to be the guy to do it anyway.
I wish they would make
waiting for him to kind of come to his senses, I suppose.
It's true.
But he had to have like an existential
crisis,
trippy experience, and was it like facing your trauma kind of deal?
You missed it, but I slipped in I wish they'd made out. But no, it was a good tense scene. I liked it. Make it show, Commander. This is cool. This is such a good. Like, it's such a good beginning.
His teeth are bigger. His teeth are more imposing too. I think they do.
I think they make him.
I like the part.
You don't take my head off my hip. You'll never be able to raise.
That's a remastered clip in the documentary too.
That's right. That's right. Love a woman.
And you know, it's the Ferengis were also a clever way to introduce casual misogyny into the show.
I guess so.
Not in a malicious kind of way, but to kind of show that like humans themselves have moved on from that kind of thing, and
I agree
that some species are still
that way
in certain mindsets that humans don't exactly necessarily adhere to as a collective anymore.
So good. I'm gonna clap. I'm sorry you got this on your recording. I'm clapping. So fucking good. Look, there's another spaceship. 2 spaceships. What? This is like a movie. It's not like a TV show. That was really great. Son of a Red Shirt says, yeah, putting the thick Irish brogue into the mouth of the Romulan chick seems just wrong. I get it's not the most well-reasoned argument. Why not a Newfie accent or Welsh, maybe Portuguese? I would like to hear a Portuguese accent. I like Portuguese accents.
It's with me and Irish accents, it's like they're not annoying. It's not like that. It's more just like I'm in it, and I like hearing people who don't sound like anything like where I'm from. Like
right.
Like Ontario accents are like general Canadian accents aren't all that attractive. Just to be totally on. And like when I moved to Ontario, it was like, hey guy, you got to smoke. I'm like, why do you sound like that? You sound like the dudes from SCTV, you know, like Dave and the guys with the moose. I forget their names.
Can I read the next comments?
But I really like Emily Blunt's accent, say.
Right.
Like the way she sounds, it's just like, oh my god.
Can I read the next?
Then I hear Saoirse Ronan, and I'm like,
Saoirse.
I've heard that before. I've heard like people talk like this all my life. Like,
you should read the next comment. I was gonna read the next comment, but you should read the next comment in Saoirse's accent.
If the internet existed when STNG came out, STNG wouldn't have lasted one season. People forget that there was a lot of hate against that show.
It's true.
Yeah, there was a lot of hate. There was.
I think it would have lasted.
There's that infamous article, isn't it, that people have clipped and put online where
even the TOS cast was kind of like bashing TNG, which was not good. Not good. It's true.
Yeah.
A Man Called Hawk. I don't know. Maybe Son of a Red Shirt's behind because we talked about Hawk a while ago.
I wish I could.
Oh, 5 minutes
I
behind. You
wish
just
there was.
realized that.
I know. We don't have Peacock here. I don't know if Spencer for Hire or A Man. I would love to watch some.
Those
Avery
are good
Brooks
shows.
content, man.
Yeah.
Like it's like, where is it? I don't see it anywhere. I mean, you have to buy it somewhere, I guess, but it's not on any streaming services. Like, I had CBS All Access at one point, and it was like I watched some old Mission Impossible seasons.
Oh, weird. My lights.
The couple episodes. Leonard Nimoy isn't in the whole thing, so I watched when he was introduced and stuff just to see Leonard Nimoy and something else. It was the only reason I watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Right.
And he's fucking excellent in that movie, man. He's so good in the brief time he has in the movie. But yeah, Avery Brooks, love to see him like one more time, man, and just in something.
It would be awesome
I don't
when he
even
came
care
back.
if it's Cisco or whatever it is, but I don't know. Like, there's no. Yeah, I don't say he's a recluse, but he's just a private citizen now. He's not. He doesn't seem to be involved in anything.
Avery Brooks is a professor. He teaches, I think, drama and acting. And I forget, it's some Northeast college somewhere in the Northeast of the United States. Yeah, currently. And
where would you find this information? I don't.
You can just look him up. He's like a currently active professor at a school, and I think he teaches drama or something like that. The thing about Avery Brooks is that, I don't know if you know this, PJ, but you probably know this. But he was involved. I think he stopped acting after he was involved in like a DUI or something like that. But I think he can bounce back. I believe in Avery Brooks. I think he can bounce back. Like, he can come back. I would love to see him in Star Trek again. I hope he does come back at some point.
In a December 22nd, 2020 interview with the Seventh Rule podcast on YouTube, on the YouTube channel Orville Nation, Cirroc Lofton indicated Brooks was not retired as an actor and would return to acting if offered a role.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Saying he has been blacklisted from Hollywood.
What?
And is without any agent or agency. I'm going to have to look up that video. This prompted fans to start the hashtag We Want Avery on Twitter to boost support for the actor in hopes
I agree.
of a resurgence in Hollywood. So this happened not too long ago. It completely slipped by my radar. I don't pay attention enough to notice, but Jesus.
Dude, Avery Brooks
You learn
is a
something new every day.
Yeah, he's like a genius actor, and he deserves a break. I feel like he should come back for sure. If he's blacklisted, that's wrong. I disagree with that highly. I have no influence, but I would say that, like, that's wrong.
And it's like he's been in so little that I can think of. Like, the first thing that ever pops in my mind of anything else that he's done, and because I haven't seen Hawk or anything, I don't think of that. It's American History X.
Oh, yeah.
He's so good in that movie.
That's
he's
true. I forgot about that he was in that movie.
Edward Norton and
I know. I
stuff.
haven't seen that
He's
movie
scary,
since
man.
it came out. He's scary. It's true.
That's a disturbing movie, but man, it was one of. As a kid, I used to love seeing Star Trek actors and other things, especially R-rated stuff. Patrick Stewart was in a movie in the 90s where he was like, fuck this, fuck everything, fuck. And I was like, oh my God, he's swearing up a storm. I can't believe it.
Well, Jeffrey, when you see him in Jeffrey, it's like so different from like what you expect
What do you
from
mean,
that.
Jeffrey?
You haven't seen the movie Jeffrey? You gotta watch Jeffrey. Patrick Stewart plays a gay man, and Jeffrey's brilliant. He's genius in that movie. Is great.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeffrey. Check it out.
The movie's called Jeffrey?
It's called Jeffrey. 1000%.
Do you know what year that came out?
95, 96, 97, somewhere around there.
Oh, Jeffrey. He played Sterling.
There you go. What year? What does it say? What year does it say?
Yeah, it was 1995.
5, yeah.
Safe House. That's the movie I'm talking about. 1988 Safe House. I think that's the one where he's like kind of hardcore.
Son of Richard says, that was the only reason you watched the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You guys really aren't into movies or pop culture.
One of the reasons I didn't watch Invasions of the one of the reasons I didn't watch Invasion.
He's just kidding, by the way.
I know, but one of the reasons I didn't watch it until I was like in my 20s, I think, was because the ending with fucking Donald Sutherland was just spoiled, and it was like one of the reasons I still haven't seen The Usual Suspects is because I know the ending. It's like, why watch it?
Oh, you gotta watch it still. No, it's very beautifully
No, I don't.
crafted.
I don't even. I will never. Watch
I don't
it.
have to
I don't
watch
care.
that
Like
shit.
I just don't even care. It's
all right, fine.
It's like Usual Suspects. I don't. Like I just. So I've heard
that
so
movie
much,
blew my.
I've heard so much hype about
It's true.
Coast. What the character?
Kaiser Sose. That movie blew my mind when it Kaiser Sose is in this house or in this room or whatever it was like. It was crazy.
But yeah, when I think it was on TCM, and I was like, I should watch this. It was a point where TCM was just like I was discovering.
Wait,
all
what's
these
TCM
classics.
Turner classic movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, it's crazy. It's a good movie. It's really freaky. Jeff Goldblum was in it too, and he's like so Goldblumy. Anyway, we're
Goldblumi.
We're talking about a lot of different things here, but anyway, DS9 is an awesome show. So keep watching these.
Yeah,
keep listening to these
we'll
commentaries.
be doing more. You're gonna have a lot of people on it, I imagine, because people who doesn't want to be part of a watch along for Deep Space Nine.
And until next time, folks, live long
and prosper.